my God, we're on the wrong sides.
Ah!
We don't want to do that. We don't want to freak people out. This is why we love horror. I'm John Maher. Abby Brooks and Aaron Brooks over there. This week, how are you guys doing before we get into it?
I think I'm doing fine.
I don't really know how I'm doing. Good enough.
Yeah, the movie this week spans a lot of genres. It's got horror elements. It's got romance elements. It's got comedy elements. It's got musical elements.
Package for Laura Franco.
Do you mind if I really need a hug right now.
I don't know if I'm...
I really needed this.
He broke up with me.
And now my life is over.
I know it sucks. Eat some pie.
I'm disgusting.
Sleep. And don't cry. Don't cry.
Hello?
What's up? You got 2 weeks. After that, you're out of here. You pack your bags and get out.
What'd you do last night?
I read. I went over lines.
Play a different song.
But something really weird is happening at home.
Someone's annoying right now.
Can we talk about it?
I can't. I gotta go to karate. I love you so much. You two know each other?
No. Yes.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
We're together for 5 years and I just messed it all up.
The prick broke up with you when you were in the hospital. I can't do it. I need time for me.
I could threaten to eat him if that would help. I mean, I could eat him. It would literally take me like 2 seconds.
There's this Halloween party, and maybe you'd like to come with me.
Are you asking me out on a date?
No.
Well, I'm not gonna leave the house.
Fine.
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 I saw you with her, but for some reason, I still love you, and I don't want to anymore.
He doesn't love you the way you deserve to be loved.
What do you know about how I deserve to be loved? Look at me!
I'm looking at you.
Look!
From this angle, I can see your back and your face simultaneously. That's how much I'm looking at you.
I'm a mess!
No, you're not.
I'm a disaster!
Oh.
That's the trailer for Your Monster. Again, this is the second week in a row. Not really truth in advertising in that trailer, because it's like I definitely not the most fun I've had this year in the theater. And while they market it like Beauty and the Beast, it's not at all Beauty and the Beast. Your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, when I first saw the trailer, I thought that this was going to be maybe similar to something like Lisa Frankenstein, which after seeing it, I don't agree. I don't think that either. Yeah, no, I mean, I hadn't heard a ton about this movie. I had heard decent stuff about it, so I just wasn't really sure what to think going into it.
Yeah, I didn't know really anything about this movie. If I saw the trailer, I don't really pay attention to trailers when I see them. So it's like, maybe I saw this trailer. I was expecting a rom-com with a little bit of music from what I heard. And then from when it started, I was expecting a little more music. I was expecting like kind of like an Anna in the Apocalypse when it started. But it's not that. It's not, I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was trying to be funny either, which is, I thought it was a rom with a little drum, mostly, with like a dash of horror.
Right. I'd say it like touches on a lot of different aspects. I mean, there's some stuff that I think they're trying to be funny, like the whole scene like where she hugs the FedEx guy or whatever, like clearly trying to be funny. I think a lot of the line delivery from the monster also supposed to be funny. But to get into like, you know, like you do most weeks, to get into like what I feel the issues with the movie are, I mean, toss up spoilers. It doesn't linger so long on any of the genres to like really establish itself in anything. Like we get a really good musical number in this movie, even though it's, I guess most musical fans would say it's not a musical because it's just they're showing a scene from a musical. So they're not like, whatever. That's, you guys know exactly, you know who you are, and you know that's how you would describe it. You would not describe it as a musical, even though there's a musical number in it. And then, like, yeah, there's some stuff that's funny, but it never really goes into comedy. There's some stuff that's drama, but never really goes into drama. There's some stuff that's romance, but then the twist kind of makes it, what was it a romance? Like, I don't know. And but there is definitely, I think horror is the thing that they do hit a little bit. Not that the monster is necessarily scary, but they delve into horror elements at the very end of the movie. All in all, I didn't hate this movie, but I don't want you to think I'm being too critical. Melissa Barrera is great. And the dude that plays the monster is great. So,
Tommy Dewey.
Abby, what do you think going from there?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. I think from my perspective, I feel like this is more of like a romantic comedy type movie. I mean, I agree. I don't think all of the comedy really hit, but if I was to put this in a genre, I would call it a romantic comedy. I wish there was more horror in it because, again, there's a monster in it. And the end scene, you really get some good horror there. But otherwise, it's really just kind of a really I don't want to say generic, but you can pretty much predict everything. That it has all of the romantic comedy tropes. It has the couple that is having issues or is broken up. And then there's the new guy, which just so happens to be the monster, that they kind of are like bickering and have this like weird relationship, which I thought they had very good chemistry, Melissa Barrera and this Tommy Dewey guy. I thought they were really good together. And then a lot of the twists that happen, like it's just a lot of typical romantic comedy type twists, which is it's not always bad. Like it was fine.
All right. So paging all the Melissa Barrera supporters from when she got fired from Scream, the Scream franchise, which said, we are going to support Melissa Barrera no matter what. I think what they really meant is if you do something funny like the new Scary Movie reboots, because that's what's in the news this week is that she's going to do the Scary Movie reboot. And now all of a sudden people want to support Melissa Barrera. She has a movie out right now that nobody is going to see. Nobody is talking about. You guys never cared about Melissa Barrera. Stop pretending you care when these actors get fired because you're going to watch Scream, you're going to watch Scary Movie, and you'll support Melissa Barrera then because you support brands, not the actual person, because this movie is out right now and no one's going to see it. And the people that are just saying it's Lisa Frankenstein, which it's not. So stop being lazy and start supporting the artists if you really support them because you don't. Anyways, back to the show now. Melissa Barrera and Tommy Dewey are the reason to watch this movie, in my opinion. Along with the romantic rom-com tropes, we have the quirky Jewish best friend even. So great. Played by Russian doll's stunt double, basically. The star. They couldn't get her, so they got this girl. This movie to me, it was very boring. I was basically half awake for a lot of it. And I think I did just fine anyways. I don't think I missed out on much. I like the dance. There was a really good dance scene that was probably my favorite part of the movie. To be honest, it was shot really well. And again, Melissa Barrera, I think really goes to some interesting places with this movie. It gets much deeper than I expected. And I think does so in a genuine way. I didn't get what we were going. I was like, what are we doing here? What are we going for? And then the way it ends, I'm going to need you guys to help me out with none of this happening because I don't deal with that well.
Yeah, this is another one. This is like an epidemic lately where the twist invalidates the entire movie because I have no idea what goes on. The monster in this movie, while it looks like a Beauty and the Beast movie, it's more of like the Fred Savage, Little Monsters, where it's the monster under her bed from when she's a kid is now still hanging out and he's in her closet, but his whole goal is he wants the house to himself. So he's trying to throw her out, but then they wind up falling in love and they have sex even. But at the end of the movie, you find out that the monster is a figment of her imagination. So was it just like a vigorous masturbation scene? Was she dancing with herself at the party? What the fuck is going on? If he's imaginary, why you do that to me? Now it doesn't make any fucking sense. Right?
Abby?
Yeah, I don't know what to say about the ending, honestly. I mean, I think that I don't know. So this director, I guess the whole thing is like they say it in the trailer. This is like a true-ish story, and I mean, yeah, everything you're saying is true. I think it's kind of commendable, like her putting all of those like terrible struggles into this movie, and then showing how she was able to come out of it and come out stronger, kind of thing. I don't know. I thought that was commendable. I liked it, but yeah, and from like a story point of view, it's a little off-putting if none of it was real.
Yeah, I felt like it just it was a swing, I suppose. It was a swing that does not work most of the time for me personally. And when I wasn't like very invested in this movie at that point, so that twist was never going to work for me in the end of the day. So if you're really emotionally invested and taken away by this story and relate to it in a way that maybe I didn't, maybe that ending is like, I saw the TV glow level, like, oh my God, by the end of it was for me. I don't know. Because, I talked to some people about the end of that and they're like, okay. So to each their own. For me, this one, to borrow a phrase that I had on Scott Harvey's podcast once upon a time, it did not give me the 5-star feels for sure.
I'd say like this movie's kind of like, not at the risk of sounding insensitive, the girl, she's done wrong. She has cancer. She goes in the hospital. Her dick, artiste boyfriend leaves her, and it's really just annoying. It's a roundabout way that she gets revenge on him, even though it's very vanilla that she just fucking kills him. Apparently in a psychotic fit, kills him on his opening night. There's all the spoilers. That's what happens, and that's the only horror you get in the movie. The fact that she does a full musical number over his dead body, which I appreciate, and that's probably the entirety of my score is based on her doing a great musical number over his dead body. Final thoughts before we get to ratings.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this was a good time. Like I enjoyed it as a whole. And I think with the ending, I think the big thing is you just want to see the terrible ex-boyfriend get what he deserves. And I think that was just her way of putting that revenge or whatever on the big screen. Like she's putting her feelings out there, which fine. I can commend that. So I can forgive it.
Aaron?
Good for her.
All right, let's get on over to those ratings. I think we're going to start with Aaron today. Aaron, what's your final thoughts on this movie?
Yeah, this movie has been largely forgotten about at this point for me, to be honest. And the parts that have stuck around have been vinegar. Unfortunately, it's part of the love experience sometimes. Your Monster for me is not going to be one I'm revisiting anytime soon. 2.5 videotapes for me, mostly for the performances of Melissa Barrera and Tommy Dewey, and a few scenes here or there. But I don't think this one would improve on a rewatch. This is not for me, dog.
Yeah, kind of in the same boat. I think I really, and I'm not really a musicals person. I guess maybe I am. I don't know, because the last part of the third act is like really good. However, you're right. The path there, and then the feeling you're left with after the movie really hurts it a lot. But I think if I look back on the movie, I didn't hate it. I liked it. So I'm going to give it 3 videotapes out of 5. Abby?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this was a good time. Like, I think if this type of movie is your thing, you can really enjoy it. So I'm like a little bit more positive than the both of you guys. I gave it 3.5.
We're edging.
We're just edging up towards that. All right. Well, we are still doing the Why We Love Horror Challenge. Let's check in this week and see what we're doing. You can follow along there. You know the drill by now. That's a lowercase r, lowercase l, capital W, lowercase d, capital I. This week, it's watching alien-based horror movie. So we ended with Abby. We'll start with Abby. What's your alien-based horror movie?
So I watched a movie that's pretty popular now that I just hadn't seen. I watched The Faculty, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of people in this movie that I did not realize were in it. But yeah, no, it's a good time. And I didn't even know that it was an alien movie until I saw that it was on all of the lists on Letterboxd. But yeah, it's definitely a recommendation if you like goofy, like late 90s, early 2000s types of movies.
Can't imagine that.
Yeah, definitely a very 90s movie. I however, watched a movie. There's a director that I'm a big fan of one of his movies. And he had done a segment in VHS, and he turned it into a full-length movie. I'm talking about Jason Eisner, the man behind Hobo with a Shotgun, which is a fucking fantastic movie. I'll die on that hill. That Hobo with a Shotgun's a 5-star movie. But he did Kids versus Aliens, and like he must have forgotten how to make movies because that movie is. It feels like it was made for 8-year-olds. It really does, because like there's a character that likes professional wrestling and they have a wrestling ring, and they're all just and then they fight the aliens, and it's just like. Yikes. But it's too edgy to be for kids as well at the same time. Like I would not show it to a kid because it's also kind of fucked up, but not like Hobo with a Shotgun. So Jason Eisner tripped and fell on his face when he made Kids vs. Aliens, but watch Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yes.
Aaron?
I am a big found footage fan, and it was a big blind spot of mine to never have watched this one. So I went with Apollo 18. Yeah, a lot of looking at footprints, a lot of looking at different footprints. Then something starts to happen as it goes. It is one of those found footage movies where nothing happens till something happens. And when the something starts happening, there is like an emotional payoff to it, I feel like, with how they achieve it. But I feel this movie was a lot of missed potential. And I'd like to see another kind of approach around the space race with a found footage movie. But we probably won't get it because Apollo 18 kind of ruined it for everybody moving forward.
Fair enough. All right, that'll do it for this week. If you made this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. The TikTok is WWL Horror. And every week, it's the same old stuff. Mondays versus. For now, I don't know, these copyright issues. I may just give up on versus. Who the hell knows? But right now, I'm fighting that good fight. Tuesday, Wednesday, special editions of whatever we decide that week. But Wednesday night, Horror Headlines is live. Thursday, you're watching it. Why We Love Horror. This week, we're doing Your Monster. I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure it out. And Why We Love Horror Trivia every Friday. This Friday, it's the championship rematch between Jeremy Adams and Dylan Van Dyne. So check that out. Till next time, I'm John Maher. That's Abby Brooks. That's Aaron Brooks.